Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about food, and I put a poll out. It was a couple days ago I put the poll out, and it was to see if you couldn't go to the store, how long or how much food do you have to survive for however long. The majority of people said 1 to 3 months. So this video is for you guys. It's how to get your food to go from 1 to 3 months all the way up to 6 months to a year. So stay tuned and let's talk about this. You know, one of the key ways to get more food saved up to where you can be a little more self-reliant is to have a fairly big garden. Now this is pretty oversized. I will say we waste a lot of space in our garden, but I like to be able to walk in between each plant and everything else like that. So that's why I do it this way. You can actually get by with raised garden beds, and you just take 2x12s, stack a couple on top of each other, make a big old bed, and then put 4x4 posts on each corner, screw them all together, fill it up with dirt, and you're ready to go. And anyway, guys, so let's go over with what you can actually do with this. Now, in order for good food preservation, you're going to have to learn how to can. And we'll have a video later down the road on that. I still need a little bit of work on that myself. I'm a little bit self-conscious about the whole botulism thing. So I definitely I require some help whenever I do it. But we'll get a good video out. It might not be me teaching you guys how to do it, but I'll get a hold of somebody and we'll do a little video online class. Regardless, what you can do is you can grow in your garden, and a lot of these plants like the green beans and cucumbers, things like that, tomatoes, you pick them and they come back. You just keep on harvesting them, and you save these up and you can can them and you can use them throughout the winter too. So during the summer you have fresh vegetables, and during the winter you're gonna have your canned stuff. Now, last year we only used up probably this much of our garden because we ended up having a baby. So I bought some of this ground cover here, and I put holes in it, and then we put in a couple of watermelon plants, a couple of tomato plants, and some pepper plants, and that's all we did last year. Now, we should have done more, but in all honesty, we just didn't have the time with my wife being pregnant and things like that. But this year, we're going to expand, and we're going to use the whole thing. So I'm probably going to use this portion over here for some corn, and we did do some corn last year. We grew about 300-400 plants of corn, but that's pretty easy. One thing about corn is you don't have to really worry about it. You know, you'll have to do a little bit of weeding whenever it's first sprouting up, if your garden's bad like mine, because I usually don't till in the fall time. That would take care of a lot of the weeds that you're going to get, but in the fall they've got time to be established a little bit, and then I'll till it 2 or 3 times in the spring instead. But anyways, yeah, you'll just pick out the big weeds, and then the corn, it grows so fast that it will starve out the rest of the weeds as the corn progresses. So anyways, we're going to plant about 300 plants of corn, and then I'm going to get rid of this over here is, well, come with me. So over here we have just a little fence that we had put up, and this is where I used to grow the cucumbers on. But I think for this year I'm going to make a wooden trellis like what you see on a grapevine type deal. And then I'll grow my trellising things on that. And it's going to be a little more sturdy. That fence, like I said, whenever I first put it up, I had it real tight, but it comes loose. As soon as you till up the ground, these posts, they move pretty easy. So keep that in mind whenever you're doing it. It's probably better just to put a wooden trellis up. But let's go inside and we'll talk about how many plants to plant for a family of 4 to feed all year long. Let's go over it. So this would be what we would have to plant to feed our family for a whole year. Yours will probably be different. If you're not planting already and you want to plant a full year's worth of vegetables, what you need to do is figure in your grocery bill. So plan out for the next 2 weeks how many vegetables you're going to need, and then just multiply that by 26, and that's how many. That's how much to plant. So for us, it's about 360 ears of corn. So we're going to plant 360 plants of corn. And what some of it'll be is some of it will be corn on the cob, and others will actually take off the cob and can it, and we'll have that for like our fried corn or corn to go in some kind of chili, stuff like that. So I'll just go on down the list. Start out with 360 ears of corn. We're going to need 300 green bean plants, 40 lima bean plants, 12 broccoli plants, 4 spinach plants. And the good thing about spinach is once you harvest it, you keep on doing it over and over and over again. So that's why I've only got 4 there. For 1, we don't eat a whole lot of it. And for 2, we can harvest those same 4 spinach plants throughout the whole course of the growing season pretty much. That being said, also going to do 4 kale. Now, we don't eat very much kale at all. My wife's got a couple recipes that call for it in her soup. So that's the only time that we ever eat kale. Now, if you're a kale fanatic, like some people are now, you'd want to plant probably a lot more than that. We've got 2 slicing tomato plants. Gonna have 1 cherry tomato plant, and that'll be for like our salsas and just a snack on. You know, I like eating those while I'm in the garden. And then we'll have 12 Roma tomato plants, and that is for all of our different sauces and salsas and things like that. Anything that we're gonna deconstruct the tomato and put it in something, that's what the Roma tomatoes will be for. Then next, I got a jalapeno plant because I'm the only one in the family that likes jalapenos, and I like them quite a bit, but 1 plant will produce a lot. So I don't need more than that. I've got 2 cayenne pepper plants, and what we'll do with that is we'll actually take some of those peppers and we'll put them on a dehydrator and dehydrate them and then crush them up, and then there's our crushed red peppers. And also you could even go a step further and really grind it up real fine, and you got your cayenne pepper. So we use both of those seasonings. And I also like to, if you're eating them fresh, just slice them up and put a small layer on your cheeseburger, right on top of your cheese. And I tell you what, if you like hot stuff, that's hard to beat. So where are we at? We got 11 bell pepper plants, 4 mounds of watermelon. Now we really like our fresh watermelon, and in each mound we'll actually do 3 watermelon plants. And then it's important that you replace all of your nitrogen in there. I like to go through with some blood meal about halfway through their growing season, whenever they're starting to get the watermelons on there, and I'll just sprinkle it on top of there, and then as it rains, it'll introduce that blood meal into the ground, and it's just packed full of nitrogen. And our watermelons have always tasted really good. So that's just a little tip you can try. We got 2 zucchini plants, 2 cucumbers, 6 spaghetti squash, 4 pumpkins, 52 garlic, 400 onions, and 80 potato plants. Now, obviously, this is going to take up quite a bit of space, but you can push the limits on the space involved, because if it's starting to get really popular where people will take a raised garden bed, and they'll really pack things in there. And in my gardener, he's a YouTube channel here on YouTube, and he does that where he'll really pack a whole bunch of stuff into this little bitty garden bed, and he still gets fairly decent results. So I think that you can slam all this together into a fairly decent sized garden. It'll still be a big garden regardless. Just keep that in mind. And this is not by any means what you have to do. A lot of people, they don't provide for the whole year. But if you don't want to go to the grocery store for your vegetables, this is a good way to go. And like I said, go ahead and tweak it. Tell me if there's anything that you guys would add in here, or if there's stuff that you just absolutely despise. Let's have a conversation about it. But until next time, guys, have a good evening. Bye-bye.